What is going on, Jaguars fans? Welcome back into the Fan Cave, where we talk about everything and anything Jaguars. My name is John O'Leary, and this is Jags Fan Cave. Now, this is going to be round 2 of the 7-round series that I'm going to be doing, building up to the 2021 NFL Draft. I hope you enjoyed round 1. This is going to be round 2. Strap in. We got 2 picks, number 33 and number 45. Let's get going. Starting off in round 2 is the very first pick of the second round, pick number 33. And I believe the Jaguars have a lot of options going into the 33rd pick in this year's draft. You could potentially look at a left tackle. You could definitely look at a tight end, maybe even a defensive tackle potentially. There's a lot of options that the Jaguars have with the 33rd pick in the draft. And I believe the Jaguars will heavily consider taking a left tackle, and the name will be Alex Leatherwood, in my opinion. Alex Leatherwood is a monster of a left tackle, coming in at 6'6", over 300 pounds, and he had a great senior bowl down in Mobile. All the coaches raved about how great of a left tackle they think he will be at the next level. And when you look at the only coach that was retained on this Jacksonville Jaguars staff from the Doug Marrone era is offensive line coach George Warhop. I believe that bodes well to the fact that George Warhop will be able to mentor and train up Alex Leatherwood to become the next great left tackle in this league, and ultimately be the heir to the left tackle position once Cam Robinson is done and gone out of Jacksonville. There's a couple other options I believe the Jaguars could go with, but I would not be upset at all if the Jaguars called Alex Leatherwood's name at the 33rd pick. Now, the Jaguars, I believe that one of the strongest position groups on this team was the linebacker position last year. You look at Myles Jack, who had arguably one of the best years of his career, if not the best year of his career so far in the NFL. Joe Schober was a great addition to this defensive group, amassing over 100 tackles. And you look at adding Josh Allen, and then you also have Caleb Von Chason potentially standing up, and the prospective 3-4 that we're going to be going into this next defensive year. And I believe the Jaguars could look at best player available in this spot with the linebacker out of Tulsa, Xavien Collins. Xavien Collins is a monster. He's an athletic freak at the linebacker position. We talk about how Trevor Lawrence is a monster of an athlete in the secondary. Xavien Collins is that in the front 7, amassing over 236 tackles, 7.5 sacks in his years at Tulsa. Now, you want to talk about production and national spotlight. Xavien Collins won the Bronco Nagurski Award for the best linebacker in college football in 2020. Now, not only did he win best linebacker, he also won the Chuck Bednarik Award, which is the best defensive player in all of college football in 2020. That bodes well to how great of a talent and athlete Xavien Collins is, and I once again would not be upset if the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to go best player available and draft this athletic freak of a man in Xavien Collins out of Tulsa with the 33rd pick. Now, another option I believe the team has at the number 33 pick is the tight end out of Penn State University, a man I've talked about a ton on this channel, and probably second only to Trevor Lawrence. It's the tight end out of Penn State, Pat Freiermuth. This man, he did have his junior year hampered by an injury at Penn State, but ultimately did have a good 2 years of production at Penn State. And, you don't earn the nickname Baby Gronk by yourself, amassing 92 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 16 touchdowns. You'd want to talk about someone that's a big body threat and the red zone on 3rd and short that can go up and get the ball and be a just absolute monster in the short passing game for your offense. Trevor Lawrence is always going to want weapons, and that has been a position that has haunted the Jacksonville Jaguars since the days when Mercedes Lewis was finally not becoming a reliable pass catcher anymore. That's a position that has haunted us for I want to say close to half a decade plus. And Pat Freiermuth would be a great addition to the offensive line as well. He's shown that he can be a great run blocker, as well as even a potential pass blocker in 12 set formations. And if he does, I want him on the team. If he's available at 33, I wouldn't be upset. I also wouldn't be upset with him being potentially looked at this next pick, the number 45 pick, which is the Jaguars' second pick in the second round. So with that being said, let's roll right into pick number 45. All right. Pick number 45, our second of the second round. I believe the Jaguars have some options here. I believe they're either going to go with a secondary position or they're going to go for a trench position here. I don't believe they're going to go offensive skill at number 45 unless it's some miraculous thing of like a Travis Etienne is still available, a Najee Harris is available, a player of that skill set is available there at number 45. And starting us off, I believe it's going to be the corner out of Florida State University, Asante Samuel Jr. You look at him, 3-year DB at FSU, 97 tackles, 4 interceptions, 29 passes defended. He was an aggressive ball hawk. That's one of my main attributes for Trayvon Moore going at number 25. I believe that is one of the things that has shot Asante Samuel Jr. up NFL draft boards, is that his aggressiveness and flies to the football. Now, the only downside is he is in a position where that is a little bit of a hindrance at times. Having a very, very aggressive corner can get burnt sometimes. I believe that is why he's available around pick 25. But if he can clean that up and kind of get a little bit of a patience to him, I believe he can be a very, very good corner in the NFL. And he can be a very good heir apparent. I talked about Alex Leatherwood being the heir apparent to Cam Robinson. I believe Asante Samuel Jr. could eventually take over that third defensive back role from Trey Herndon and just become a cheaper, younger option, as we're always looking to get better, we're always looking to get younger, and we're always looking to get cheaper, which Asante Samuel Jr. would be. And overall, if he becomes a Jaguar, I'd be very, very happy, whether it be at 45, 65. I don't like him at 33. I think that is too much of a reach, but at 45, I'm comfortable with that bit of a reach at the closer to the end of the second round and about halfway through the second round. And ultimately, I wouldn't be upset with this pick. Now, I said they would either go secondary position or trench position. Now we're going to get to the trenches. We've got the offensive tackle out of Texas, Samuel Cosmi. Samuel Cosmi has almost the exact same build of Alex Leatherwood. The only downside, which I believe brings him down around the 45 range, is that his pass protection isn't exactly where it needs to be. The Draft Network is stated as saying that he relies too much on out-athleting people rather than just actually having quality skill sets to defend against a quality pass rusher. I do believe that Samuel Cosmi can work on the same attributes that I gave George Warhop for Alex Leatherwood. I believe apply to Samuel Cosmi, that he is the only player, or the only coach rather, retained from the Doug Marrone era that bodes how well of a coach, how well he can coach rather. And Draft Network also states that he's better than average in pass protection. I'm not meaning to say that he is some slappy that they're going to throw at the left tackle position and just have Trevor Lawrence get cremated. That is not what I'm trying to say at all. He is just better than average, which, I mean, honestly, if we can get better than average out of all 5 of the offensive linemen, we have, I would say, a top 10 offensive line in the league, maybe top 8. But the Draft Network does state him as being one of the best run blocking tackles in this draft, which, you look at Carlos Hyde, James Robinson, how great will those two be together? I believe when you have a great run blocking tackle, that bodes very, very well to the success of your running backs and as well as your play action formations. And Samuel Cosmi would be a great addition to this team if they decide to not go Leatherwood at 33 or another, if one of the tackles in the first round falls to 25, Samuel Cosmi would be a great addition to this Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line and squad as a whole. All right, we're going to round out this prediction video of the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft with the defensive tackle out of Washington, Levi Onwuzurike. He is someone that could be the big end in our 3-4 whenever you talk about players that could potentially be that big end. You look at Malcolm Brown. It was hopefully going to be a player like Tyson Alualu. But then you kind of get to names like Taven Bryan. Those are names that's a name I really don't want to ever say again. Unfortunately, it's looking like I will have to say it again for the 2021 season. But hopefully, once Levi Onwuzurike, if he does become a Jaguar, he develops, he can become a great, great asset and eventually push Taven Bryan off of this depth chart. You look at him, he's got 95 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, and 7.5 sacks in his 3 years at Washington. And that bodes well to just being a great, great rotational defensive lineman, averaging about 30 tackles a year. Wouldn't it be great to have 30 sacks? 30 tackles a year, and about 2 sacks a year, which honestly isn't a terrible, terrible thing when you look at the fact that a lot of your pass rush is going to be coming from your Josh Allen, your Kayvon Chason, and any other pass rusher that they decide to pick up possibly at the latter end of the draft, that can be a great asset to the outside linebacking core, maybe a Xavien Collins if they decide to go that route at 33. Now, honestly, I say this and I hold my breath with it because this class is touted as not being a very good defensive line class outside of, even Christian Barmore, which some people are saying don't get him. He only showed up for the final couple games, and he doesn't have a whole lot of great tape outside of that. So I'm hesitant to look at Levi Onwuzurike at the 45th pick, but if he's there, I definitely do consider him, as he does have a lot of great attributes that can be a good benefit to this Jacksonville Jaguars squad. All right, Jaguars fans, we've now covered pick 1 with Trevor Lawrence, no question there. We've gone over number 25. We've gone over number 33 and number 45 in this video, covering the first and the second round so far of the series. Be sure to subscribe as it gets you entered into the signed Fred Taylor jersey giveaway for free. Let me say that again. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel right here, Jags Fan Cave, and it gets you entered into a free Fred Taylor signed jersey giveaway. The giveaway ends once Trevor Lawrence's name is announced on draft night. Once those words, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson, leave Roger Goodell's mouth, the giveaway is closed. So I look forward to all of you subscribing to the Jags Fan Cave. Myself, I love making these videos. I'm welcoming you guys into the fan cave by hopefully starting off your own fan cave. And as always, stay safe and go Jaguars.